Richmond was founded in the 18th century. William Mayo laid out the city's original plat on land owned by William Byrd II at the edge of the James River in 1737. The Crown chartered the town in 1742. During the Revolutionary War, Virginians relocated the state capital from Williamsburg to Richmond to help defend against British attack. The rapids of the James River provided a ready supply of hydropower, which made Richmond a center for industry by the end of the 18th century. The James River and Kanawha Canal was a public works project planned by George Washington to connect the two rivers and create a water route through Virginia into the interior of the new nation. The canal had only reached Buchanan by 1851 when rail travel overtook canal transportation. During the Civil War, Richmond was the capital of the Confederacy and home to a large ironworks, which provided significant armaments for the Confederacy, including the plating for the ironclad CSS Virginia. In March of 1865, the Confederate Army retreated and Confederate officials fled the city as Union troops advanced. The Confederates set fire to bridges and the armory as they left, but the fire spread, devastating Richmond and burning nearly a quarter of the city. Despite this devastation, Richmond remained an economic and industrial powerhouse. It was a rail center, as 3 lines ran through the city, and in the 1880s, investors built a powered streetcar system that would lead to development of several outlying neighborhoods, such as Highland Park and Forest Hill Park. Richmond became a center for warehousing and processing tobacco, and remained a financial center. After the passage of the Federal Reserve Act in 1913, Richmond was named the location of one of the 12 regional branches of the nation's new central bank, and the city became a cigarette production center for Philip Morris, one of the country's largest tobacco companies. Richmond was home to a significant African American population. In 1940, it numbered 52,000 of a total population of 193,000, and it was concentrated in a handful of neighborhoods. The middle of the 20th century saw the beginning of a development shift from Richmond to outlying areas, largely by whites. In 1940, the 2 surrounding counties of Henrico and Chesterfield had a combined population of 73,000, about a third of Richmond's population. The development of suburban infrastructure such as Interstate 64 and I-195 enabled businesses and residential developers to relocate outside of Richmond. By 1970, Henrico and Chesterfield had a combined population of about 225,000, nearly matching that of Richmond. And by 1990, the population of each county eclipsed that of Richmond, which then stood at 203,000. Despite that decentralization, the metropolitan area continues to grow as a center of finance, healthcare, and education, and at the expense of the industrial economy that dominated in the 20th century. Philip Morris USA is headquartered in Richmond, and in 2008, the Altria Group, the global umbrella company for Philip Morris, moved its headquarters to Henrico County, outside the city. Capital One is the area's largest private employer, followed by the Virginia Commonwealth University Health System, illustrating a new economic foundation of knowledge work, service, and retail employment in addition to state government in the 21st century.